Oh man, this is getting good, like really good. Welcome to Monday Smartphone News, guys, and this one is going to be about the Mi Mix 2 and the LG V30, and a little bit of iPhone. But listen, Xiaomi is going to make their mark in the US. This is what we've been looking for. Now take a listen to these specs. Android 8.0, Snapdragon 836, 4,400 milliamp hour battery, 6.2 inch Quad HD display, 20 megapixel camera, 256 gigs onboard storage. If Xiaomi makes a mark in the US with those specs, really won't matter what the price is, because people are going to have to take notice. It probably won't be more than the Galaxy Note 8 or the Galaxy S8 or the iPhone or the V30. It shouldn't be. It'll be ranked somewhere in there, 7 to 9. But with those specs, on paper, doesn't it sound like it's a lot better than the current offerings that we get in the US? So if in fact they do decide to make their mark in the US with that Mi Mix 2 that is on paper here, this is going to be something else. I mean, the Mi Mix 2 has the specs that a lot of techies at the current moment, as of right now, 2017, September, at the current moment, that's something that people desire at this point. I mean, I can't get a shot of the hardware, but we've seen some of the leaks of the hardware. But the fact that this phone will have a Snapdragon 836, a 6.2 inch display, 20 megapixel rear, 4,400 milliamp hour battery, 256 gigs onboard storage. I mean, this is crazy. And it's supposed to be unveiled on September 11th. So what is going on here? Xiaomi is getting ready to make their mark. Now, if you don't have a Xiaomi product, the UI, just think about no app tray. LG, Apple, people who don't use Huawei, who don't use an app tray. Basically, that's it. But you can skin those. There's Android, so you can skin it how you want to skin it. However, I'm talking about, this is going to be a game changer probably. If it comes to the US with LTE bands for the US, which it's supposed to, this should be really decent. This is going to be good. It is getting good, folks. I mean, the market is getting bombarded with great deals and great phones, and this is what we want, right? Right? So I'm telling you, if Xiaomi brings this is gonna shake some. And you know what? Two things are gonna happen. Xiaomi brings this to the US. They price it right, they market it right, they get the sales, they get the customers, they get the exposure. Or they bring it to the US, they price it wrong, they don't market it, and nobody buys it. But just a few techies for review, then they all say it's bad, and then it sweeps under the rug. It's one of the two. They're going to have to put this thing out there, and they're going to have to do it right. They got to do it right. Because it probably checks all the things of essential that we need. It's probably got a headphone jack. It's probably got Type-C. I wasn't a fan of the call quality with my Mi Mix 1. Through the face of the phone, the vibration motor that they use for the earpiece, that sounded horrible to me. I don't always use Bluetooth. I have Bluetooth hooked to my car, and I have Bluetooth pretty much everywhere, but I don't always use Bluetooth. And I don't want to use Bluetooth for certain phones. So, I don't like to use Bluetooth for this phone. I just hold it up to my ear and I talk on it. So, the Mi Mix 2, just based on specs alone, is a monster. It is just crazy. So, I'm really hoping that they come correct and they come right. Do it right, and you'll do well. It doesn't matter if you're not known over here in the US for your devices. It doesn't matter. Gotta come correct. You gotta bring something that's never been done. You gotta bring something that's intriguing, eclectic, exciting, all of the above. You gotta pack it into a phone, and you gotta make it good. There's only so much you can do with the phone, and right now, bezel-less is the route that nearly everyone's going. So I think the Xiaomi is doing very well with bezel-less phones. So now, listen, price it right, market it right, you got it going on. So the LG V30 was announced, and I haven't done any coverage on it. You're probably thinking, Jay didn't cover anything about the LG V30. Is he getting it? You know, what's his take on it? My take on it is the cameras are probably going to blow away a lot of other cameras that we have. You know, it's running the basics. It's running a Snapdragon 835, 4 gigs of RAM, 3300 milliamp hour battery. It's got a 6-inch Quad HD display. It's 1440 by 2880, which gives it a pixel count. I believe, where's that pixel count? It gives it a pixel count of 537. So, you know, that 81% body ratio thing is going on there. So it's running 7.1. It's HDR compliant. You know, Gorilla Glass front and back is 5 this time. Micro SD card slot, 6 gigs of RAM, or excuse me, 6 gigs, 64 gigs of onboard storage. There's also the V30 Plus, which has 128 gigs, but it has 4 gigs of RAM. So, you know, this dual 16 megapixel setup, the 1.6 aperture is the biggest. That's going to let a lot of light in. And then the 13 megapixels that's with it is a 1.9. I mean, there's cameras out there now that don't even have a 1.9 on the rear alone. But the 5 megapixel on the front is suspect. I don't know. You know, I got to test it out for you. But most of the time, the front cameras on most of the LG phones that I've used are not really good. But it does have, you know, the basics, the fingerprint reader. You know, it's going to come in a blue and a silver color. But you know, it looks good. It's super thin. It's, you know, it's going to be a seller. It's going to sell. You know, they're going to do what they can to sell it. They're going to have promos through the carriers. But the problem is, you know, they're going to have to market this thing right. You know, and they're going to have to price it right, because they're if they release it too late, then people will lose interest. You know, if they release it around the same time as other phones that are coming out, like the Note 8 and the iPhone 8, people are going to lose interest. So LG, I think it's a beautiful piece of hardware. I think it's a beautiful device from what I've seen, and I think the cameras are probably going to be superior to every other camera on the market, probably. I don't know about my U11. Got to put it to the test, though. We shall see. I know no camera is touching the front camera on the U11, so we've established that. But the rear camera is always going to be in question. So, and I always use the front camera on phones. This is all of my vlogs and stuff like this are done with the front camera of the U11. So the U11 is a fantastic camera on the front, and the rear is just matched by very few. But nothing right now to me matches the front camera of the U11 in my experience and my usage. So the V30 is going to have to bring it, you know, with the rear camera to satisfy me. So, wow, the iPhone is coming, and we just got to wait, man. The announcement is the 12th, and the Mi Mix gets announced on the 11th. There's supposed to be 3 iPhones. One is going to be $999, from what I understand. That's probably wrong. I don't know. It's just rumors, at least, that people send to me. But nonetheless, I'm hyped about the iPhones. The only problem I have is I use everything Mac and Apple and stuff, but the phones, it doesn't matter what the iPhone hardware looks like. I'm probably still going to get bored with my iPhone within a week to 2 weeks, and I'll go back to my U11 or whatever, my Note 8 or whatever I'm using at the moment. So, nonetheless, the iPhone is coming. And the V30 needs to get released. The Mi Mix is coming. And what could hurt us, so we all know that Apple's going to sell the iPhone. It'll be in your hands 2 weeks after the event, probably. So, this is just going to be one of those things that, you know, Apple doesn't have to market. You know, I'm curious to see what changes. There's supposed to be a 7S and a 7S Plus. And they're just going to maintain the same body that's on the other ones, supposedly. But there's going to be that one iPhone that they're going to try to break the bank on and really pitch it to you. So, I don't know, man. I hope that it, you know, that the phone is a success, and I hope that it's something to be desired by a lot of people. I'm going to be hyped about it probably at first, but you know, that hype wears off. That's why I do the after the hype videos, because you know, you can only be hyped about something for so long. You're going to move on to something else. Some phones I stay hyped about. Like my U11 has been my daily driver, like my main phone since launch. You know, nothing really can take it out of my hands. But the Note 8 is beautiful. So I'll be releasing footage with the Note 8 cameras sooner than you think. So I'll be bringing you lots of coverage on the Note 8 sooner than you think. So be prepared for that. So it's your man Jay Will, Monday smartphone news. I've already given out all the swag bags from the ZTE packages that I had, the shirts and bags that I got in. So shout out to the ZTE, the Z community, and the Blade Z review is up. All the blades I've done, had to. But yeah, the swag bags are gone. All the winners have gotten their tracking numbers. So shut it down. So any other giveaways and stuff that I have, not just for ZTE, it's going to be fun. So I'm rolling up on 50,000 subs, folks, so I've got something special planned for you. I'm giving away a lot of stuff, and it's not going to be a random giveaway. I'm actually going to pick the people who are going to get these products because I'm looking for the loyal subscribers. I'm looking for the people who have been there since day one. And giveaways are always a risk when you do them because you get a lot of people that come in and they just started following you and they don't know much about you yet. And so I want to give some of these things to the loyal subs. I will give away stuff to random people, but the big prizes, I'm going to pick the winners, and that's just what it is. So it's your man Jay Will, Monday smartphone news. I hope you enjoyed. You want another blade? You want one more? Aesthetically, oh, excuse me. Man. But the problem is, excuse me, man. Oh my gosh, Deshaun.